As part of Trump's new budget, 66 government programs are going to be eliminated. So let's go through them. We have in the Agriculture Department, $855 million will be cut. That includes the McGovern-Dole International Food for Education, Rural Business Cooperative Service, Rural Water and Waste Disposal Program Account, Single Family Housing Direct Loans. Commerce Department, $633 million cut. Economic Development Administration, Manufacturing Extension Partnership, Minority Business Development Agency, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Grants and Education. Education Department, $4.9 billion cut. 21st Century Community Learning Centers, gone. Comprehensive Literacy Development Grants, forget about it. Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grants, no more. Impact Aid Payments for Federal Property, International Education, Strengthening Institutions, Student Support and Academic Enrichment Grants, Supporting Effective Instruction State Grants, Teacher Quality Partnership. The Energy Department, $398 million cut. That includes Advanced Research Projects Agency for Energy, Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loan Program, and Title 17 Innovative Technology Loan Guarantee Programs. Mixed Oxide Fuel Fabrication Facility. Health and Human Services, $4.8 billion cut. Agency for Health Research and Quality is part of that. Community Services Block Grant. Seems kind of important. That's part of that. Health Professions and Nursing Training Programs. Getting rid of that. Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Wow. So heat for poor people, they're getting rid of that. Homeland Security, $235 million cut. Flood Hazard Mapping and Risk Analysis Program. Because they don't give a shit about, warnings for natural disasters. Transportation Security Administration Law Enforcement Grants. Housing and Urban Development, $4.1 billion cut, including Choice Neighborhoods, Community Development Block, Home Investment Partnership Program, Self-Help and Assisted Home Ownership Opportunity Program Account, Interior Department, $122 million cut, Abandoned Mine Land Grants, Heritage Partnership Program, National Wildlife Refuge Fund, Justice Department, $210 million cut, State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, Labor Department, $527 million cut. Migrant and Seasonal Farm Worker Training, OSHA Training Grants, Senior Community Service Employment Program, State Department and U.S. Aid, there's going to be about $4.3 billion cut from this. That includes development assistance, earmarked appropriations for nonprofit organizations, the Asia Foundation East-West Center, PL 480 Title II Food Aid, State Department, USAID, and Treasury Department will cut $1.59 billion. Green Climate Fund and Global Climate Change Initiative. Transportation Department, $499 million cut. National Infrastructure Investments, gone. Treasury Department, $43 million, gone. Global Agriculture and Food Security Program. Environmental Protection Agency, $493 million, gone. Energy Star and voluntary climate programs. Geographic programs, all cut. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, $269 million gone. 5 Earth Science missions. Forget about that. Office of Education, forget about that. And then there's other independent agencies, $2.68 billion cut from here, including from the Chemical Safety Board, Corporation for National and Community Service, Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Institute of Museum and Library Services, International Development Foundations, like African Development Foundation, Inter-American Foundation, Legal Services Corporation, helping poor people with legal issues, National Endowment for the Arts, National Endowment for the Humanities, Neighborhood Reinvestment Corporation, Overseas Private Investment Corporation, regional commissions, including Appalachian Regional Commission, Delta Regional Authority, Denali Commission, Northern Border Regional Commission, U.S. Institute of Peace, U.S. Trade and Development Agency. Okay, I think you get the picture. Wow. So all that's being cut. Now here's the deal. If you want to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, kind of like we just did, but I mean get into even more specifics about each and individual program, are you going to come across some where, hey, maybe he's right. Maybe there's a few of these that are like, nah, I don't know why we're wasting money on that when we could be spending it on this. That's probably the case. That's probably true. However, is it the case that all of these should be eliminated as they're going to be? As he wants them to be? No. No, of course not. And especially, that's the case when they're reallocating funds to the military. You're going to expand the military, which is already the largest military in human history, by 1.5 miles. We already spend over 50% of the discretionary budget on military spending. You want to add billions and billions and billions more to the military and cut from stuff like this. No. And also, what happened, man? He said he'd never, the forgotten man would never be forgotten again. That's what Donald Trump said. What do you think this is? There are a lot of jobs that are linked to all these different agencies. Now, again, if you go through it with a fine-tooth comb, maybe some of them can be cut. But all of them? No. How many people are you affecting negatively and taking away their livelihood by going after this stuff? And how much scientific research are you gutting? And how many educational programs are you getting rid of? And how many protections for the poor are you getting rid of? And how many regulations for the EPA and for chemical safety like we went through and are you getting rid of? How many, investments or how many research operations into renewable technology are you getting rid of, which is desperately needed because of climate change? So it's basically, let me gut everything for the poor and the middle class. Let me gut everything that's educational, that's forward-looking, and let me funnel that money directly to the military-industrial complex, even though we already have 800 military bases around the world, costs $100 billion a year just to maintain it. We have waste, fraud, and abuse all throughout the military. We just did the story the other day about how there's a shadow war going on all throughout Africa that our special operations are doing. Nobody signed off on that. I didn't sign off on that. Congress didn't sign off on that. So it wastes billions and billions. 7 different interventions going on right now. I mean, come on. We're wasting all this money overseas, maintaining the empire. $80 billion a year goes to the big banks. There's corporate welfare out the wazoo. ExxonMobil gets $4 billion a year, even though they're one of the most profitable corporations that exists. Our infrastructure gets a grade of D+. Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water. We got all this stuff to spend the money on, and they're cutting from things that the majority of stuff they shouldn't be cutting. They just shouldn't be cutting it. So, a budget is a moral document, and this shows you that Trump and his administration and the Republicans are grossly immoral. This is a Jeb Bush budget. This is a Mitt Romney budget. This is a Marco Rubio budget. This is a George W. Bush budget. This is a Dick Cheney budget. This is their philosophy. Everything for the poor and the middle class and for research and for science and for regulation, forget about it. And give all the money to Wall Street and in the form of tax cuts too, remember. And give it in the form of corporate subsidies. And funnel it, again, to the Pentagon. It's hard to even sit down and calculate all the downsides of gutting all these programs. Again, I'm a reasonable dude. I get some of them, maybe, sure. I might agree, yeah, that one. 66 of them? Billions and billions and billions of dollars? When we're blowing billions more on shit we shouldn't be spending it on? Spare me.